What's something you like to bring to conversation? There's something you like to ask about men or about dating or...
I was going to go straight in with something crazy.
Please, that's what we're here for.
Because this one, I've been thinking about it for a while. I wasn't sure whether to mention it in one of the other podcasts, but I just thought, let me save this one for here.
Okay.
Do you think modern women compete with men nowadays?
In what regards?
In regards to responsibilities, job-wise, career-wise.
So, okay, let's go through those. So in terms of responsibilities, I think, yes. I think the whole thing of a woman saying, I'm strong and independent.
Yeah.
Essentially what she's saying is, I am responsible for myself.
Right.
Traditionally, men have been responsible for the women that they're with.
Yeah. So
it's almost like they are competing for being responsible for themselves.
Okay.
But that's fine. If you're a grown adult, be responsible for yourself. Do you know what I mean? In terms of career and stuff, I mean, you're competing against everyone, men and women. You know, men and women are in the workforce, so you're competing against everyone.
Yeah.
I think in regards to dating, do women compete with men in their careers? I think because I think two things. I think the first thing, I think a lot of women think what makes men attractive makes them attractive as women. Okay. And obviously what attracts men and women are very different things initially. Mm-hmm. So a woman having a high flying successful career, that doesn't make her more desirable to guys in general. Okay. And usually the guy that's going to make him more desired to her is a guy who doesn't have that for himself. Yeah. Right? So he's going to be looking to her to provide. Okay. So I think a lot of time women will lead with that in dating scenarios with men because they think it's what makes them an attractive catch, and men just look for different things. I think the other aspect as well, while maybe they might lead with it, is because, do you know what I mean if I say women are hypergamous? Do you know what that means?
Could you elaborate?
Yeah, so basically means that they want a guy on their level or above.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So someone on their economic standing or financial standing and above. So usually it's like if a woman owns her own house, she's like, I want a guy who also owns his own house, maybe more, right? So I think a lot of the time women may lead with that because it's like, this is my level, so if you're going to get me, you have to be at least here or more. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So it's almost like they're setting the standard of the kind of guy that they feel that they are eligible for.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
I think that's what I would say why they lead in it, but what do you think?
I think I agree.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes with women, there are some women that are themselves not that established in jobs, like in terms of just life in general. It can be many different factors, but I do see a lot of women that aim way too high and they ask for too much when they should at least be a little bit more established to then ask for more, if you get what I mean.
So what do you mean? What kind of woman do you feel is asking for too much? Can you give us an example?
I have a friend. I used to have a friend, right?
Okay.
I say used to because we had a conversation about this, and she was very much, I'm just going to be straightforward. She was unemployed, high maintenance, as in she did the whole getting dressed, makeup and whatever. She would have a lot of expensive things, but this would be through dating, like, you know, as you go along dating different guys, and then you would get like the shopping out of it and whatever. But then she would have this super just ridiculous high standard when it would come to men. And one day I did have a conversation with her and I said to her, you know, logically, do you not think you should kind of aim for a guy that is realistic? Go for a guy that is realistic, who's going to actually respect you, stay with you in that kind of sense, if you get what I mean. So I feel like she was just kind of trying to reach for something that just wasn't possible for her to reach. Right. So I feel as if women just need to be a little bit more realistic in this time and kind of aim for what is achievable, instead of, that's when you get all the feminism, like, you know, the feminists that are like crazy and they're like, I can ask for a man because I'm a woman and I've got that right because, okay, fine. If you're traditional, so me, myself, I'm Pakistani. So I come from a really traditional culture. So we kind of expect to have the best man, whatever, that's fine. But I feel like in this day and age, you know, women are also able to have a career and, you know, have jobs and do what we want to do, right? So I think it's only fair for a woman who's already established to be able to ask for a guy who's more established, if you know what I mean. Back to what you said, you know, we do generally ask or go for either the same or a little bit more. Yes. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So
on that though, I think that's where the danger is, because just because you're successful as a woman, that doesn't mean you will attract the guy on your level or above, or even, well, none of us are entitled to anything, right? Like if you're a man, you're not entitled to a woman. If you're a woman, you're not entitled to a man. So just because a woman becomes the CEO of a company, that doesn't mean she now deserves the CEO of another company,
right?
Because, like I said, men and women look for different things.
Right.
So I think that men are hypergamous when it comes to looks.
Okay. Yeah.
So men want a girl who's at least his level of attractiveness or more attractive than him.
Right.
Women want a guy who's at least her level of success or more successful than her.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why, so with your friend, you were like, oh, she's unemployed or whatever, she needs to set realistic standards. Now, I don't know what her complete list was, but it could be, if she was a super attractive woman, she may get the super successful guy.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does happen. We see it with celebrities all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it depends on what the guy looks for. And, you know, I think there's a middle ground in terms of if a woman's not bringing anything like that, like she doesn't have any passions, or she's at least not growing in herself in some way, that's very attractive and valuable. It's not about how much money she earns or what career she does, but is she growing in herself? Is she growing herself in her womanness? Do you know what I mean? That's very attractive. But yeah, just because a woman is on a certain level, that doesn't necessarily mean that, I mean, everybody can ask what they want, but reality will tell you kind of, you know, essentially what you can get and what you deserve almost. Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of endless because everyone is so different.
Yes.
So there's so many different factors.
Yeah, of course.
It changes everything. It's like endless exceptions.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're completely right. I completely agree with you. But then again, of course, it depends on different things. She actually is a very attractive woman. She is, I would say, someone you would probably see on Explore on Instagram and probably stop and be like, oh, okay, she's really pretty.
Okay. Does she model?
No.
She's
she's just kind of like an Instagram
selfies
and like that kind of thing.
I got you.
Which is fair enough. I mean, that's completely, you know.
Yeah.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.